Ocean Needs Everyone is celebrating 5 years of saving the oceans. My name's Enzo, and through Ocean Needs Everyone, I help save the ocean by doing beach cleanups, CO and mangrove plantings, making art about recycled plastic, and making films regarding the ocean's health. How can you help save the oceans at home? Well, even if you don't live near an ocean, trash can end up in there eventually, so cut down on your use of single-use plastics. If you see trash on the roads or beaches, make sure to pick it up. Use less gas-powered vehicles, fish responsibly, and help support local organizations. I started my organization when I was 12 years old because I wanted to make a difference. So remember, you're never too young to follow your dreams and make a change. Let's all save our oceans together, one piece of trash at a time.
Want to train like a pro? DGS Ninja has you covered with obstacles designed by top athletes. Kevin Carbone, Matt Bradley, Tom Alberti, and Brett Sims. Whether you're dialing in your technique at the gym or training at home, DGS Ninja equipment is built for performance, durability, and safety. Train with confidence. Train with DGS Ninja. Find obstacles, rigs, mats, and more on dgsninja.com.
Has this ever happened to you? Where's my chalk bag? Ooh, I have a solution for that. Slab chalks! You take the chalk ball, put it in the mesh pocket, zip it up, slap, and get your chalk. Slab trucks are made right here in Springdale, Arkansas at Interform, the small batch manufacturing company. We're helping our community and providing local jobs to minorities and women of diverse backgrounds. I'm Joseph Rao, Ninja Warrior, rock climber, and the CEO of Slap Chalks.
Here at Stage 4 Designs, we are all about innovation and athlete safety. We've been doing this since 2015, designing the most innovative obstacles in the sport, and now with our partnership with the World Ninja League, we are very excited to bring some of our best designs to the highest level athletes in the world. For our process, it all kind of starts right here in our digital design. There's a much more deliberate process now in what we do, with our goal being the utmost in athlete safety. So we put everything into our digital design first, make sure it's all going to work, then we procure the parts. We learned the process and refined it to what we feel are some of the highest quality urethane products you're going to find in the Ninja space, and that all happens here at our custom-built workbench. A lot goes into our urethane, and we are very proud of the work that we do there. Everything that we build here at Stage 4 is all custom made in-house. It's not like we have a stock of a bunch of stuff. So when you do place an order with us, that order comes through and we basically build everything from scratch. Paint department is scalable. We basically hand paint most things, but some things that require a little bit more spray or bigger, we're capable of that as well. These athletes put these obstacles through some of the most rigorous circumstances that you can think of, and we want to try to plan for every contingency. We never want an obstacle to break on anybody. We always want our stuff to feel solid and not move around a whole lot, so that the athletes can trust their skills to throw the biggest moves that they possibly can on anything that we put out there. Our CNC machine handles all of most of our flat goods. It's the workhorse around here. It actually does a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of cutting things out. We don't do any of our flat goods by hand. We make sure that everything is exactly the same and replicable, so that, you know, if you're doing courses or you have athletes that are going either head to head or the same obstacle that you're going to find at one Ninja gym is going to feel exactly the same if you go to another Ninja gym or your home for that matter, so that there's consistency with all of our product. Over the years, as we've added to our suite of products that we offer, we realized that pipe and metalworking is becoming more and more commonplace in Ninja obstacles, and to meet that demand, we've added the ability to do that here as well. So a lot of the obstacles that you'll see that we design and develop are meant to go on truss, and pipes are a big part of that. So we've added a pipe bending station here, and look for, in the future, us to offer a lot more innovative obstacles that kind of exist in that space where pipes are a big part of it. So here, everything that we put out is tested by real ninjas before it goes out. We want to make sure that our obstacles can stand all sorts of unforeseen circumstances. We know that Ninja athletes move in ways that are innovative and new, and we want to try to account for as many of those as we can and make sure that those obstacles hold up. So we test everything. Over the last 10 years, Stage 4 Designs has been committed to developing the most innovative obstacles that you're going to find, but also the safest and most reliable obstacles. Our motto here is elevating obstacles. We do feel that on this platform, we can take something that's both fun and creative, but also elevate it to an industry that deserves to stand on its own.
Ocean Needs Everyone is celebrating 5 years of saving the oceans. My name's Enzo, and through Ocean Needs Everyone, I help save the ocean by doing beach cleanups, CO and mangrove plantings, making art about recycled plastic, and making films regarding the ocean's health. How can you help save the oceans at home? Well, even if you don't live near an ocean, trash can end up in there eventually, so cut down on your use of single-use plastics. If you see trash on the roads or beaches, make sure to pick it up. Use less gas-powered vehicles, fish responsibly, and help support local organizations. I started my organization when I was 12 years old because I wanted to make a difference. So remember, you're never too young to follow your dreams and make a change. Let's all save our oceans together, one piece of trash at a time.
Want to train like a pro? DGS Ninja has you covered with obstacles designed by top athletes. Kevin Carbone, Matt Bradley, Tom Alberti, and Brett Sims. Whether you're dialing in your technique at the gym or training at home, DGS Ninja equipment is built for performance, durability, and safety. Train with confidence. Train with DGS Ninja. Find obstacles, rigs, mats, and more on dgsninja.com.
Has this ever happened to you? Where's my truck bag? Ooh, I have a solution for that. Slab chalks! You take the chalk ball, put it in the mesh pocket, zip it up, slap, and get your chalk. Slab trucks are made right here in Springdale, Arkansas at Interform, the small batch manufacturing company. We're helping our community and providing local jobs to minorities and women of diverse backgrounds. I'm Joseph Rao, Ninja Warrior, rock climber, and the CEO of Slap Chalks.
Here at Stage 4 Designs, we are all about innovation and athlete safety. We've been doing this since 2015, designing the most innovative obstacles in the sport, and now with our partnership with the World Ninja League, we are very excited to bring some of our best designs to the highest level athletes in the world. For our process, it all kind of starts right here in our digital design. There's a much more deliberate process now in what we do, with our goal being the utmost in athlete safety. So we put everything into our digital design first, make sure it's all going to work, then we procure the parts. We learned the process and refined it to what we feel are some of the highest quality urethane products you're going to find in the Ninja space, and that all happens here at our custom-built workbench. A lot goes into our urethane, and we are very proud of the work that we do there. Everything that we build here at Stage 4 is all custom made in-house. It's not like we have a stock of a bunch of stuff. So when you do place an order with us, that order comes through and we basically build everything from scratch. Paint department is scalable. We basically hand paint most things, but some things that require a little bit more spray or bigger, we're capable of that as well. These athletes put these obstacles through some of the most rigorous circumstances that you can think of, and we want to try to plan for every contingency. We never want an obstacle to break on anybody. We always want our stuff to feel solid and not move around a whole lot, so that the athletes can trust their skills to throw the biggest moves that they possibly can on anything that we put out there. Our CNC machine handles all of most of our flat goods. It's the workhorse around here. It actually does a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of cutting things out. We don't do any of our flat goods by hand. We make sure that everything is exactly the same and replicable, so that, you know, if you're doing courses or you have athletes that are going either head to head or the same obstacle that you're going to find at one Ninja gym is going to feel exactly the same if you go to another Ninja gym or your home for that matter, so that there's consistency with all of our product. Over the years, as we've added to our suite of products that we offer, we've realized that pipe and metalworking is becoming more and more commonplace in Ninja obstacles, and to meet that demand, we've added the ability to do that here as well. So a lot of the obstacles that you'll see that we design and develop are meant to go on truss, and pipes are a big part of that. So we've added a pipe bending station here, and look for, in the future, us to offer a lot more innovative obstacles that kind of exist in that space where pipes are a big part of it. So here, everything that we put out is tested by real ninjas before it goes out. We want to make sure that our obstacles can stand all sorts of unforeseen circumstances. We know that Ninja athletes move in ways that are innovative and new, and we want to try to account for as many of those as we can and make sure that those obstacles hold up. So we test everything. Over the last 10 years, Stage 4 Designs has been committed to developing the most innovative obstacles that you're going to find, but also the safest and most reliable obstacles. Our motto here is elevating obstacles. We do feel that on this platform, we can take something that's both fun and creative, but also elevate it to an industry that deserves to stand on its own.
G'day, mates! Welcome back to the World Ninja League Premier Series Season 4 qualifier down under at Australian Warrior Fitness Ninja out here in Gosford. My name is Billy Dixon, joined alongside Kay Malden today. Shout outs to our boy Shen for being the course designer out here for AWF's qualifier. He's put on an absolutely phenomenal display of course design on both the placement course and the challenge course from yesterday, and I am very well sure that quality is going to continue throughout today. So my name is Billy, joined alongside Kane. It's been a great qualifier down here in Australia. Kane, how are we feeling going into the youth divisions for day 2?
I'm pretty excited. You know, the Australian ninja scene in general is very interesting, especially without a parenting show, which has recently come back, mind you. But the ninja scene down under in the Southern Hemisphere tends to be a little spread out given Australia's sort of geology. You know, the middle isn't so livable, it's a desert. And so the gyms tend to be more or less spread out. And we've seen that here in Premier Series, where every year we've had a different qualifier in a different gym. So yeah, tell us how the competitors have fared on the courses over the weekend.
It's been absolutely incredible to see all the competitors. They've been absolutely brilliant. Let's have a look at what our competitors are going to be doing. So what we've done is we've taken the top 25% of all the athletes out here for the WNL from the World Championships and their season standings in their region, and all of the people who fit those credentials have gotten the invite to the Premier Series. So that means they can qualify from any competition that they want from around the world. And for the format, we have 2 courses that our athletes are running. We've got the placement and challenge. On the placement course, if you fall, your run is over. That's simple as that. And its purpose is to seed the run order for the challenge course, where our athletes have 2 retries, and you can only utilize a retry once on an obstacle. And the challenge course is going to determine the top 4 athletes who are going to be moving on to the Premier Series finals for season 4 that are happening this year on November 20th through the 22nd at Ascend Obstacle Training Marlborough in Massachusetts. I'm very hyped for the finals this year. It's going to be an absolutely insane time, and I'm hyped to see if any of our Australians from across the weekend are going to be taking the trip over to Massachusetts in November. So yesterday we had all of our adult divisions taking it on, which is different from how we usually do it. This is the first time in Premier Series history where we've had the youth divisions run on the second day out here. So they are running right now on the Sunday. Out here for the Western viewers, it might still be Saturday, but the Australians out here, it is basically like morning, nearly the afternoon. And we have 3 of our kids that are going to be running today. We've got 3 kids males out here that are going to be after the Premier Series qualifying title.
Yeah, Thomas Raphael and the Whitemans here. Now, come to think of it, given the small sample size of competitors, I'm curious to see how this placement course will play out. You know, with only 3 people, are you really affecting your seeding that much? If you go fast and furious, well, maybe it could be a matter of, you know, when you run later, you don't have to lay out all your cards on the table. So that is one aspect that can come in handy, regardless of field sample size. So I don't know.
Now, I suppose it can suit our athletes in many different ways because of the fact that it's a speed course. It gets the blood pumping, the atmosphere in the gym gets going once you're running a placement course like this. Although the Australian placement course that we've had for this weekend, it's been a bit of a weird one. A lot of our athletes moving on through at a very, very differing paces, but we're going to have our demo run coming along through here. It looks like we're starting at a different place to usual. Yesterday, we started on the other side of the gym, but now we're starting out with some ring swings out here, as opposed to a couple of difficult holds. Now, this is the line where we started yesterday. Our athletes are going to have to take hold of that ring, move on to these star holds, and then move along over to the dismount platform across a couple of balance areas. And now we're moving through into, I would assume, the second half of this placement course, and we can see a bunch of different moves being utilized, some balance out here. In my opinion, this is flowing better than the course we had yesterday. There are a lot of directional changes from across the gym due to Australian Warrior Fitness not being the biggest facility, they kind of have to make do with a lot of different areas they have there. And now we are finished there. So the warped wall is going to be the final area in the placement course. It's going to be an exciting time for our 3 kid male athletes to take on.
Yeah, you know, it looks like a pretty unassuming placement course, all things considered. I'm wondering what kind of moves and hockey stops will be pulled out by those in attendance here. Speaking of hockey, it's actually winter in Australia, so that's a little weird for our Western viewers. But regardless, I think this should be a pretty straightforward course to run through. So, yeah, what do you think, Billy? What do you think will be the separator on this placement course?
The separator, I think, is probably just going to be the time limit in itself. All of these obstacles are pretty straightforward, and that's the good thing about a placement course. It really could be a furthest fastest to the buzzer, in a sense. It could be a race towards the end of the course at this point. And because we only have 3 athletes here, the field is small, the stakes might be lower compared to athletes where more, or divisions where more athletes compete in. But at the same time, it's going to be an opportunity for these guys to possibly get warmed up to get ready for the challenge course, which is the one that ultimately matters if you're wanting to qualify for the Premier Series finals. But this is still an important way to set the tone for how the day is going to go for our Premier Series qualifier. And maybe our later divisions are going to have to take note of what these guys are doing to see what they can do. I know when I compete and when I go out to compete in other qualifiers, for maybe WNL or other gym comps, I always take a look at how the kids are doing and maybe how the courses are laid out to see if some things are the same for when it comes to me. And that's probably one of the better things to do when it comes to preparing for a competition. So these kids, they're going to be having a big task here. They're setting the foundation for what the rest of the athletes today are going to be facing.
Yeah, and given our sample size, it's going to be a more casual but still very competitive competition. The podium, it's been decided, but in what order? That is the question we are asking. So whatever skips it takes to pull ahead of the others, we hope to see employed in this easy, but still pretty unassuming, deceptively easy placement course.
Exactly. I think once we figure out what the time limit is going to be, then it's going to be a bit more feasible to what we can do here. We are going to be checking out what these kids have to offer very shortly once we move over to what the course, for the course camera angle. We have more Ninja action that's going to be coming your guys' way later on today. So all of the times listed on the screen are in Australian times. So we have the kids that are going on at the moment. We've got the mature kids that are going to be running at 11 a.m. Aussie time. And then the preteens are going to be running at 2 p.m. Australian time. So it's going to be a good time for all of our kids here today. They're going to be watching the stream, probably some of their parents, members of the family that are going to be tuning in to see them run. And it looks like we're going to be starting out right here with our first competitor of the day, Thomas Raphael.
Yeah, Thomas, first guy up of the day. It's a tall order to ask, but I think Thomas more than capable of performing under the pressure. I mean, this can't be his first rodeo, but we're going to find out.
Here he goes, Thomas, trying to gauge up a bit of swing now. He's going to try his best to get possibly... Okay, now I like the idea, trying to get a run-up over to those rings. He's just having a bit of trouble trying to reach out. Ooh, he just isn't able to get it. This is not the best situation for Thomas to be in currently, but he's trying his best to move on through here. Going to move out the box from beneath him so he can try and get a bit more of a more powerful swing. Here goes Thomas. He's very close to it. Yes, he's got the reach.
Yeah, Thomas, I was a little concerned because he was kind of getting hampered on that backswing, but no such impedance here, grabbing onto the third set of rings, and he is going to move right along. Still doing what he can here. The time limit's still uncertain, but oh, not the best kickoff there. He's swinging at kind of a standstill, but he returns.
Here he goes, going off the platform again. He's got that immediate reach out to the star hold. Goes over to the bigger starfish there. Not a problem. Now he's going to be shifting on through those balance circles. Moving along through this horizontal pipe now. Going to try and make up some time here. Try and get a few more obstacles completed within the time limit. Here he moves Thomas. Got to be careful on these steps, and he's got it. He's controlling them.
Yeah, this one much more stable. Can use the hands as well to get further in. Oh, come on! No!
Is he fine?
My gosh!
Careful there,
Thomas!
fella. Yes, okay, Tom moving up through, and he has got it. So it looks like the pink tape there is going to be where our athletes are hitting their buzzer on the wall. That's a great way to start things out. Always great to see a clear.
Oh, that was intense. He had a lot of issues getting the swing started, but when he got going, he really got going. And look at this, close save here, was super close. Had some issues colliding with the mats as well. But at the end of the day, when all was said and done, he got through the placement course.
Indeed so. Let's see if we can keep that trend running with the first of the Whiteman brothers, Jackson Whiteman, coming out of Wyoming, New South Wales. Trying to get a bit more swing here. This is a faster pace than what Thomas was on, determined by the momentum that he's carrying. It seems like the first move here on this placement course is the toughest. We had a few people yesterday go out on the first obstacle of placement. But here goes Jackson. Nice dismount as he moves on through. So it looks like we've got maybe a minute 45 for the time limit on the placement course. But Jackson moving at a very efficient pace.
Yeah, Jackson, I was noticing, getting a much better kickoff here. He is a little shorter, and these platforms are set for the shorter athletes, so he has a little bit more clearance to kick his feet out, get across the pipe shifter there, and now Tiger runs Sonic Curve, moving nicely. But this will... Oh, okay.
Is he fine?
Stumble.
Yep, he's good, he's good. Jackson moving at a good pace, but he's at the same point where Thomas was, but he's moving very fast. 35 seconds ahead of him. Jackson is going to get another clear here. Lovely stuff there. That's going to put him later on in the challenge course as he cleared about 33 seconds faster than Thomas before him.
Yeah, he looked so controlled that whole run. It was maybe a little bit of a stumble here, but balanced the great equalizer of Ninja, and he handled it like a pro. Look at this as well. He was very close to the pink line, fingertips. That's what it comes down to in Ninja.
All right, so with that, we have our final contestant of the kids division, Lincoln Whiteman, again coming out of Wyoming, New South Wales. He's just seen two people clear, one of them being his brother. Let's see how he can fare. Trying to gauge a lot of momentum coming into these first few holds. Can he make the grab? Yes.
Yep, nice static, and going to utilize a pullback to just about find that ring. Carries him nicely to the platform. Now it's time for a boot scoot into these tricky, precarious stars.
Nice, lovely stuff here from Lincoln so far. A minute 10 left on his time. He's 3.5 seconds ahead of Jackson up to this point. Here goes Lincoln, trying to get an even dismount onto that box, which he has no problem with. Here he goes, got to be careful. Ooh, let it slip back, but he's okay.
Oh no! His foot hit
just
the
stepped
floor.
off. Oh, that's unfortunate. We were so close having a clean sweep on our speed course there for placement. That's unfortunate for Lincoln. That means he's going to be running first when it comes to the challenge course in just a moment. That's unfortunate. We were very close to having 3 for 3.
Yeah, that's just what happens. Balance, again, is a pretty tough aspect of Ninja. I'm sure that's something our kids are just starting to learn in the early stages of their Ninja career. But all in all, still some pretty solid runs from Lincoln. He handled the course pretty well up to that point. But yeah, 3 people into the challenge course. What are you thinking, Billy?
It's going to be an interesting way to see what goes on out here when we get to our challenge course. I'm interested to see what the obstacles are going to be predominantly, to see if they're going to follow a similar trend to what yesterday's obstacles were, or if they're just going to be a completely different route entirely for our kids, because of course they are smaller than some of our adults that competed yesterday. So that might play into the fact that our obstacles might not be the same from what we saw yesterday and when we had our amateurs, teens, and the elites moving on for it. But yeah, the challenge course is going to be next. Everybody, stay tuned. We're going to have some more ninja action from Down Under coming soon. Take care in a bit. All right, guys, welcome back to the WNL Premier Series Season 4 qualifier out here at Australian Warrior Fitness in Gosford, Australia. My name is Billy Dixon. I am joined alongside Kane Malden here today on the commentary. We just wrapped up the kids placement course with our 3 kids male athletes out here. What do you think of it, Kane?
It was a pretty easygoing series of placement course runs. In all honesty, it wasn't super intense. The stakes weren't that high. I mean, they're not going to be that high for the challenge course either. Granted that, with only 3 competitors and 4 slots, all they have to do is beat the 3rd obstacle, which I think they're capable of doing. So I guess what it's going to come down to is who is going to be where on the Premier Series podium.
Yeah, I think it's down to any of them, honestly. All 3 of them looked very, very strong on the placement course from earlier. All did very, very well. We had 2 clears and 1 stumble on a balance obstacle, but we have the retries available now for our challenge course. So those are going to come in clutch, possibly, if our athletes go out on any obstacles. So they have 2 opportunities to retry an obstacle once. And if you are failing an obstacle twice, then that's going to be your run finish. We had a couple of upsets yesterday on the challenge courses specifically. They were very, very difficult, but now we're going to be easing back the difficulty a little bit for our kids, as the moves won't be as big or dynamic as they would have been for like the elite division or such. So we're going to be having the kids running our course later on in just a few moments. Just setting up a few things. We've got the 9 obstacles that are going to be on our challenge course out here. I think the most we had yesterday was 13, which I believe is the biggest placement course or challenge course amount of obstacles that we've ever had. I think we've had 12 many times, but 13 obstacles is a big one.
Yeah, pretty uncommon thing. We're jumping it back to 9 obstacles, so should be pretty interesting. If what you're saying is true about the difficulty and the scale of how this challenge course was yesterday, I think we're going to be in for a bit of a treat, and hopefully one filled with success for our competitors.
Now, there's particularly one obstacle on this course that I adore. Personally, it's the pool cue at the end. I don't know if you watched any of it yesterday, Kane, but the final obstacle involves taking a bar on, like, okay, it's really, really hard to describe when you don't have the obstacle right in front of you. But the pool cue is probably my favorite on the entire course. And we'll be seeing a bunch of these different obstacles because I'm noticing there's a few here that weren't in the challenge course yesterday. We didn't have the sliders pass. We didn't have the fruit alley. We didn't have the cane slide or the mechanic either. They were all different obstacles. So I'm excited to see what the differences are going to be when it comes down to our kids who are going to be running the course now.
Yeah, I mean, given how it usually is in the league, the younger the age divisions, the course tends to be scaled back. It's a little bit backwards compared to what we usually see from our Premier Series qualifiers, where it starts small and then scales up into its fullest form in the elite division. But this time we're paring it back, so it's interesting. We should be able to get a walkthrough demo run of this course very, very shortly.
Indeed. So it's going to be exciting to see what's going to go on now for the demo run, because this is going to be the precedent, hopefully, for what the rest of the athletes throughout the entire day are going to be doing. We have the mature kids and the preteens that are going to be coming up later on within the day. Those are going to be happening at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. respectively, Australian time. It's going to be a hype moment to see all of these courses be taken on. Some of the biggest moments in these kids' lives are taking on a bunch of obstacle courses when Ninja is your profession sport. I am a fan of the entire progression of all of these kids and seeing how far they can go, because it's impressive to note the 3 athletes that we have running here today are around in the kids division. They're ages 6 to 8, I think, in the kids, which is absolutely insane to think of. We're going to have our first competitor be Lincoln Whiteman. He was the only non-finisher in the placement course, unfortunately. He went down on a balance obstacle just with a small stumble. So hopefully now he's going to be able to set a very high standard for himself moving forward as he can hopefully put on a very stellar performance, hopefully with these two other fellas, Thomas and Jackson.
Yeah, success does run in the family, as evident by Jackson. And Thomas smack dab in the middle. This is going to be interesting, especially because, when you're in a big challenge course, it's very important to run later. But here it's almost negligible because, the difference in beta, you don't really have time to make a big change in your game plan when you're the second person up. So,
I think having a change in your plan right before you're about to start running is quite a risky prospect, particularly if you've been putting together a plan to go on a course for quite a while, I think. When you're looking back on runs from the past that you might have done, I think it's worth noting on what you've been doing throughout those runs and what your mindsets have been moving through it. With these kids, they're very young and they still have a long way to go when it comes through in these courses. So I'm hoping that they can take whatever happens today, whether they have one of their worst performances or one of their best, that they can come away from this with a very positive attitude, no matter what happens.
That's very true. Yeah, our kids are just getting started. I remember in the early days of the youth divisions in the league in 2019, there was a kid that made it all the way to stage 3. And, he's someone you're going to recognize. His name is Charlie Ball. So,
Ooh.
Sometimes you can get a strong start, sometimes not. But regardless, you have plenty of time, nothing but time in your ninja journey, especially this early on at the ages of 6 to 8.
Indeed. So all of these guys are very local as well. They probably train together, particularly the Whiteman brothers might have gone out to train with Thomas, possibly. Very Wyoming, New South Wales in Australia, very local to where AWF is out here. And we talked earlier that the show's back as well. So hopefully in a few years, these kids are able to take on that show. But now our demo run is going to be in play. We're going to be having a look at our 9 obstacles that our kids are running. And we're going to be seeing what the day has ahead for us in terms of these courses.
A pretty coy start there we see with the pyramid scheme, and then we go straight into some cannonball hooks, which it's crazy to think. I don't think this was a thing in Ninja in 2019, around when these kids were born, and now they're taking it on here.
I feel very old now thinking that 7-year-olds can be born in 2019. That's absolutely insane. People who were born during the pandemic might be able to do Ninja now, which is insane. Now then, coming along with our demo run, we're seeing a few more obstacles be done here. It looks like we're moving on to cane slide. Not a problem there. Now moving on to the mechanic, which is a large log that our athletes are going to be crawling underneath there. And now we're moving straight on to our final obstacle, which is the pool cue. Now, we saw this earlier in the weekend. You got to take that pole, push it as if you're playing pool, and now it will release a cannonball, and then you can swing down to the buzzer. I think on a bigger scale, that obstacle can look insanely cool.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the old school hole puncher from, 2018 Worlds. Oh,
I don't think I can think that far back. I do not remember that one at all.
Yeah, it was a stage 3 obstacle. Very, very old school, back when Ninja Quest was a thing. And that is very far removed from where we are in Australia, come to think of it. Georgia, Australia, sheesh.
It is kind of insane, but again, I do love the international aspect of this sport. This competition allows for so many great Australian athletes to go over to the Premier Series finals later on this year. We have loads of other competitions from around the globe to be looking forward to when we get there. We're in Australia right now, but we have 4 more countries to be showcasing. We have the US, the UK, Australia, which we're in now. We've got District 44 in France, and then we have Fitset Ninja in Canada. That's a bunch of different gyms, including many in America, such as Motus, Next Level Ninja, Austin Ninjas, Carolina Ninja Academy, Vitality, Life Force, Dexterity, Albany, M-Lab, and then Ascend, our finals location. Kane, what's the one you're looking forward to the most?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm sure you're looking forward to True Function. You've competed there all 3 years in the past in Premier Series, and you've always performed pretty highly. So I'm excited to see how you do there. Life Force never disappoints. Let's see. Obviously, Ascend and Vitality. Vitality, I know, hosts a 3-stage competition there amongst their athletes. So, it'll be super exciting. America, the Northeast region never disappoints.
Yeah, you are right there. True Function and Vitality are the two that I'm looking out for the most. Vitality simply because this is the first year where we haven't had our finals location have an individual qualifier. So all of the people who would have been qualifying at Ascend are going to Vitality because they're in the same state, meaning that Vitality is going to have the most amount of people probably out of all of these competitions, which I'm really hyped for.
That's true. I'm also excited for France, Canada. Canada was super exciting last year. I do recollect. And Austin Ninjas Never Disappoints was actually the old venue for the Tier 2 championships. And then Carolina, very close to the Greensboro Coliseum, where we just had our Tier 1, Tier 2, and head-to-head championships. So a lot of Ninja places to be had during this Premier Series season.
Absolutely. I'm hyped I don't want to sleep on places like Albany Ninja Lab and Next Level Ninja. We can be seeing a lot of great competitors going out to those comps, particularly because those two are also in like the Northeast New England region. And if people aren't able to qualify at stuff like Vitality and Dexterity is also there too in the Northeast, then places like Next Level and Albany Ninja Lab and maybe MLab Ohio too, because that's relatively close. They all have the capabilities to qualify loads of people from across the world and across the entirety of the United States. But it looks like now we're moving on to our first athlete here, already on the move here, Lincoln Whiteman on his way through. He's having a bit of trouble on these hooks now, trying to get a bit more precise, and he's got that hold. He's going to carry on through.
Yep, so far so good. Lincoln is on the shorter end, so to span the distance between these hooks is a little tougher, but Lincoln's found his rhythm, marching along to the beat of his drum. Lincoln is going to hopefully find his way out of there soon.
He's doing good here, trying to get through. Not a problem there from Lincoln Whiteman, trying his best. It looks like our competitors have around 3 minutes and 45 seconds on the course. Here goes Lincoln. He's going to go for the next obstacle here, which is Greg's Corner. This one was taking out quite a few people here. Has a bit of a different orientation, a few more balance-based obstacles. These guys have got to make a run for it now. Coming onto this pole dance, Lincoln. Oh, is he fine? Yeah, no foot tap there. Now he's halfway through the course.
Yeah, now we're taking a look at, what is this? Oh, no! Couldn't reach up to the cannonballs. That's unfortunate.
So here he goes. He's going to be using his first of 2 retries here. He's got to clear this obstacle if he wants to get through the rest of this course now on Fruit Alley. He's going to try his best to move on through off these cannonballs onto that trapeze. Going to go for that second trapeze, which looks to be higher up, possibly. Gonna take
I think it looks
swings.
to be... Yeah, on a wait for it mechanism, which, come to think of it, is also a very old obstacle, almost older than these competitors here.
I like the pulley system continuation. We had something like that yesterday. Lincoln, no! Okay, oh, he's fine.
Oh!
He's chilling. He made it past the forward plane. He's chilling, all well and good. On this cane, he's got a very low grab, which usually asks for a lot of control, but he's made it. Now a minute 50 for these final 3 obstacles. Lincoln's on a roll right now, dude.
Yeah, and given his height here on the mechanic, it's actually going to be a benefit to him because you're so low down to the floor. So, when you're shorter, you don't have to reach up as much. He's through.
All right, here he goes. Massive rope jump out here. Is he going to be able to make it? Your arms are going to be killing at this point. But here he moves now. He's going to jump over to this box and go for the pool cue. He's got loads of time. If he needs to take a retry, then he'll do that too. Going to push that cue forward to reveal the cannonball. Here he goes. Massive swing. Gonna go back one more time, and he's got it. Lincoln Whiteman, 1 for 1 on the challenge course. Love to see it. Our first clear of the day.
Yeah, Lincoln's such an excellent run through and through. He had a little bit of a close call on the Fruit Alley, but I'm super happy to see that he was able to make it through, have the wherewithal to conquer the challenge course. He just handled business. Yeah, look at that. Oh, a bit of incidental contact there.
That was a very good way to start things out. That set the precedent very well for the rest of our kids who are going to be running. And that's a great way to start things out, Kane. I'm happy that we've already got a clear here, and we can only go up from here.
Yeah, and that's got to feel good after the mishap on the placement course where he fell unbalanced. This time, he was able to carry it through to the very end.
Now then, next up, our second competitor out of the 3 that we have in the kids division, it's going to be Thomas Raphael. Moving over here, he's just getting ready to move. On the start line, he is chalked up.
Yeah, Thomas, this should be another really interesting run. He was our first run of the division on the placement course. Now he's in the middle of the Whitemans, so is what it is. But Thomas is a little bit taller, so we'll see how that height will play to his advantages. So he can just reach out there to that second one.
Seems to be working at the minute. Tom not having a problem now. 3 minutes and a half. Ooh, that's his first mishap on this second obstacle here, the mini alley. He's resolving himself, though, relatively quickly. 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Disaster averted. Looks like he's just trying to map out some sort of route, some sort of plan of attack. Now he's having trouble unhooking his back arm. You see he's diagonal. It's a little weird of an angle to assert himself here.
Careful there, fella. He has almost been bucketed into that wall, and he hasn't really got much swing, so he might want to generate a bit more. He's very close to hooking it in, and he's got it. Now this should be easy to just make a turnaround, which he's got, and now he has a more head-on approach. But if he wants a faster clear than Lincoln, then he's really got to move since he's 19 seconds behind, but there is a massive chance he can do this.
Yeah, first things first, though, the swing isn't doing him any favors. Wasn't quite getting unhooked from its resting state, but Thomas, balance should be pretty easy with those long legs. Get up and over the vaulting box, and then comes the pole dance. The foot was super close to the floor.
All right, easy stuff there from Thomas. Moving on through now, it's worth noting that this is where Lincoln had to take a retry. So if Thomas is able to move through here at a solid pace, then we should be able to get both of our clears here. And it's up in the air in whether Thomas will be faster or not. He's letting that pulley system slide down. We saw that on some floating monkey bars yesterday. They were really difficult and took out our competitors. But Thomas here, going to gear himself up for the dismount. Is he going to go for the holds or straight to the box? It's hard to tell at the moment. He's trying his best to gear up the swing. Regardless, here he moves.
Oh, he is a little high up. He's a little bit unsure of himself.
That was harsh. Nearly had it. He was going for the cannonballs. It looked like he had enough momentum to just go for the box. But regardless, he's going to move on through here on his first of 2 retries. Got to make it through here if he wants a shot at that buzzer.
Yeah, I was about to say, he was taking a lot of extra swings en route to those cannonballs. I don't know if that was indecisiveness or maybe a little bit of fear. He is a little bit high up here on this apparatus.
Here he moves now. This is where he came undone just a bit ago. He has a lot of swing, and there we go. He gets the skip. Now he really wants to move through here at a pretty fast pace. 4 more obstacles left. 65 seconds left on his clock. Let's see how he fares.
Yeah, he won't get to Lincoln's time. I believe that has passed by. He's facing the other way, which should be helpful because you can just reach your feet over to the platform and carry yourself to safety.
Here we go. 45 seconds left as he now moves along through onto the pool cue. Pushes the cue forward. Here he goes, grabs this magic 8 ball of destiny, and he's got the buzzer. Thomas Raphael, our second clear. We are now 2 for 2 on the challenge course. This is great.
Yeah, there were a couple of missteps here and there, but all that matters, frankly, oh, look at how close his foot was to the ground there. But the ref didn't call it, and that's what matters. Didn't cost him a retry, and eventually he figured out his method of attack to get under the cannonballs and finish out an excellent run.
Very, very good there from Thomas. Not a problem from our 7-year-old here. Very good. He was using the bit of momentum that the ball had to then reach back out and pull it backward. Now, ending things out is going to be our fastest placement course clear, Jackson Whiteman, coming out of Wyoming, New South Wales. Here he goes. He's got 3 minutes 45 on the clock in total. This is going to be quite a decider here, the pace that the little alley has here.
Yeah, this one's a little precarious because you're kind of trying to thread a needle here, and it's very uncomfortable. Unhooking, rehooking, none of it's easy. He tried to go for a skip too, which does succeed.
Yes, I like that. Utilizing literally all of his wingspan, and it looks like his lower body's gearing for an early dismount. The one-handed trust there. This is brilliant. He's 5 seconds ahead of Lincoln now. Let's see if he can keep up this pace.
Yeah, we're also seeing a bit of trouble getting that bar slider started, but Jackson's found his way. Here we go. Jackson, 1.7 seconds in the green, going to gingerly walk across the lane of balance obstacles here, but speeding up the platform.
There. Looks like we've had some close calls every single time we've seen that obstacle so far. But Jackson still moving, a lot of fun energy. That's one thing the Australians do very well, actually. They're a very fun team of ninjas out there. And Jackson is putting it to the test at the minute. 2 minutes and a half. He's now basically a minute and a half down on his time as he reaches out to the pulley system. Going to try and gather enough momentum to get down to that platform, or is he going to go for the cannonballs?
Now we've seen both of our competitors take a retry here. This would give him a leg up on the rest of the competition if he can figure it out here, and he does!
Okay, there we go. No retries used yet. Extending his lead by a few seconds, nearly 10 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. 9 now. Right, here he moves on. We got 3 obstacles left. Moving on to the mechanic now.
Yeah, like brother, he is also going backwards, head facing the landing platform. But again, he is shorter, so doesn't have to worry about the feet clipping the ground as much. One more obstacle left to go.
This is very good. Oh, no! Unfortunately, he just slipped there on the rope. Freak accident. Gonna have to try his best to move back through. Oh, but he went a bit prematurely. That's okay. He can try again now. Here he goes. He's basically done 3 obstacles now in 1, but here he goes. He's got a minute and a half left. Can he keep up the fast pace? Okay, so it looks like the ball didn't fully go to him, but he's reaching out, goes straight over to the buzzer, and just like that, Jackson Whiteman makes it 3 for 3 on the challenge course. Impeccable.
Yeah, we don't see that every day where the challenge course goes better than the placement course. You know, that was such an excellent run. He was brave, he was bold, tried new tactics, especially that skip on the second obstacle. You don't see that out of kids very often because of their wingspans aren't quite fully there. There was a close call there with the box as well. Sheesh.
But yeah, overall, that's a great way, probably the best way possible you could end out a division like that for the kids out here. We had Jackson Whiteman take home the victory out here, and just like that, our podium is sorted, and all 3 of our athletes in the kids male division will be heading to the Premier Series finals. Well done to all of them. Shout outs to Thomas, Lincoln, and Jackson, with both of the Whiteman brothers taking on the top 2, with Thomas trailing behind. Doing a very good job everywhere. Love that.
Yeah, that was super exciting. I mean, we saw no sparing of success here. Everyone who stepped up was able to stomp out a buzzer, and even Lincoln, who had a misstep on the placement course, was able to make good on his second life and finish out the challenge course. So I think all our kids are going to have something to smile about as they step up to the podium.
Heck yeah, dude, that's absolutely impeccable from all of our kids. We still have some more action yet to come out here. We have 2 more divisions that are going to be heading our way down in Australia. We've got the mature kids that are coming up in just a bit. We've got the pre-teens afterward. Both of those happening at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. respectively in the Australian time zone. Kane, what a great way to start.
Yeah, so such a super exciting thing. I always love to be here in the commentators booth, especially with you, Billy, just to watch these ninja runs unfold one by one, see the methods of attack and purchase from competitor to competitor. But yeah, we should be starting up our Mature Kids division pretty shortly. We will be taking a quick intermission to set it up for our older athletes. Any closing thoughts, Billy?
I'm just excited to see how it's going to carry on. We've seen a very positive start to our day with our kids getting a clean sweep on that challenge course, and I'm hoping that same theme can carry through the mature kids and the preteens. So from Billy Dixon and Kane Malding, we will see you later for the mature kids. Take care.